Hey, my name is Darren Gruner. I am the lead designer and CEO of Total Scape Design. And I have this wonderful pleasure of being with one of my friends one of my clients turned friend, Jeremiah Saunders here. And we're in sunny South Florida. Actually, he was one of the many pools that I've installed. And we got together, we met, and we ended up building this beautiful backyard for him. Jeremiah, thanks for coming with me and hanging out with me by your pool. I really appreciate the time that you're spending with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Yeah, I love having you here.
I know, it's really cool. You know, I'm going to ask you a couple questions about our relationship and what that means to you, and we'll get to the pool because we know how much you're enjoying it, and the kids are enjoying it
every day,
and your wife's enjoying it, and we'll talk about how it brought you together as a family too, right? I bet. Yeah. But I want to kind of reminisce a little bit about the beginnings of our relationship when we first started, when you first called me.
Okay, sure.
And because it's important for me to really relay the type of person I am as a contractor. I tell people, or a lot of people say, well, we're here for our clients, but some of us don't mean it as much as I do, and I feel like I do. And I've always told to you that I've always been there for you. I'll always be available, right? We always have. I remember some conversations that we've had at 7 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night, 11 o'clock at night, sometimes midnight, right?
Right. Yeah.
I understand how stressful this whole situation was, and that's why I said to you, I'm always going to be available for you. Do you remember those days?
Absolutely. Yeah. No, it was. Even in the beginning, this is such a kind of a big undertaking.
Yeah.
For I would imagine any family, especially for us. Like my wife doesn't enjoy projects. It impedes upon her tranquility at home.
Yeah.
But when we decided to do this project, the next step was, okay, so who are we going to trust? Not just with our home, but with the project itself. And so when the whole process, it was for us, it was a relief to know during the process that you were just a phone call away.
Yeah.
And that you always took her call. And if you didn't take her call, you just responded immediately. I will be with you in like 5 minutes. Yeah. And like no matter time. And I know that we're not the easiest of customers too, because my wife was calling you nonstop. And you always took the call. You were always pleasant. So that was I think that was what really kind of your and I's relationship, where that kind of kicked off, is just how welcoming you were with us during the project, but just to be available for us. And then, our personalities just really go together.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Well, I always consider, I say this I have a radio show on Turf's Up Radio, and I always talk about how it's important for us to be the landscape hero for our clients, because there's a lot of things that our clients don't know, our homeowners don't know. You call us up and you say, I want a big, beautiful pool in my backyard. And that's all really. You don't know how to get there. You don't know, all the different steps it takes to get there. And you don't know who you're going to be forming a relationship with. Yeah. So I feel like it's our responsibility as landscapers or pool builders or any home improvement people to be that hero for you. And I hope that I was that hero for you. I hope that I was able to step into that role and be there by your side and take you by your hand and say, let's walk all the way through this and let's get to the end together so that you can enjoy it.
Yeah, you definitely have. At no point did we feel pressure to do anything, and we didn't know what to do. Yeah. That was the biggest thing, is when you're looking at a blank template, and this isn't something that you do every day, right? All we wanted as a family is we wanted a pool. But then we wanted the nines, we wanted fountains, and we wanted to walk into the Taj Mahal. But you settled us down to understand that, okay, let's look at your space accurately and let's figure this out together. And you designed something that we never even thought that we would even be able to come up with. My drawings and sketches and my wife's photos were we were all over the place, and you helped kind of synchronize us to a design that we fell in love with. So that was key.
It's funny, and I learn a lot from my clients every day. And again, I don't want to call you my client because you're my friend. But you were at first, right? But I learn a lot from my clients, and by listening to them, I keep my ears open, and I want to help. I really want to help. And I remember at the beginning of every relationship that I get into with any clients before or since you, they feel the same way. It's like, okay, I want to do this in my backyard, and they know what the kind of budget they have in their mind, and they have no clue what it costs to do. Yeah. And my goal, and I like to ask for a budget, because it's important for me to know as a designer that how much I can do to your backyard. How much?
Right.
What do you really want? What are you
Right.
really expecting? And I don't remember us getting into the budget talk, but I remember us talking to you about budget, about what things should cost. And while it's very difficult for a homeowner to really have that conversation with somebody that they don't know,
Yeah.
it's important because it helps me to understand how it works for you, and then so on and so forth. So I go through this every day, and some people just they think I'm just trying to take advantage of them. When reality is, no, I want to give you the reality and tell you this is what it takes. Listen, we thought about all this. Now remember, Jeremiah, remember we said, okay, we want to do a pool. We wanted to do a kitchen that was going to be right here,
Yes.
right? And by the way,
We have big eyes in the beginning.
yeah, and this is not even a lot of people come to me that I want to put a full-blown kitchen in this 7x7 space. I'm like, well, that can't happen.
Right.
I mean, I want you to have it too because I'd love to be able to make it for you.
Yeah.
But that couldn't happen, so we had to nix that, and that kind of sucked, you know. But we couldn't do that. But there's other things that we could have done. You talked about we always remember we always talked about lighting and irrigation because those are things that are important. Not just have a pool and then the fencing. Obviously, you're okay with the fencing because you didn't need the fence in the backyard. But we talked about all that, and I wanted to make sure I knew that before we did the design.
We did get into budgeting at one point, and we were forthcoming and said, okay, this is really what we have to work with. And you know, even some of the things that you said were off the table, you have somehow managed to get it in the table for us. And that's what that's what was so amazing about this project for me, was just how much you were able to maneuver and get things for what we wanted and get it to where we wanted it, and stayed within our budget. And that was the thing that we liked the most, is like you don't get that because you didn't have to put that effort in. We knew that. So when you started putting all that extra effort in, we're like, we really started, you know, like, this is the guy, man. This is
Well, to me, it's not about the profit. It's about, listen, I know, I mean, listen, in our industry, profit's not a dirty word. We're allowed to make some money, right? You want us to make money so that we can be around. So if something happens, we're still around, right? You want us to make money. If we just did it for free, you'd be like, where's Darren? You know, what happened to Darren? He's gone. So we have to make a little bit of money. But if I can fit it in, I'm going to. Now, what's happening, which is really cool, and we'll show you a layout of your project. But your backyard happens to be, and I love it because I know that no one wants to spend a lot of money on their property, although it's an investment. I know that. So when I see a smaller property like this, I look and say, my God, you're lucky. Are you lucky because you can have almost everything you want within a smaller budget because you don't have to fill up a half an acre of property.
Right.
So I say to you're lucky. So when I thought about that, I'm thinking, man, let's try to put as much as we can. It's not that I X'd anything out, it's that we just kind of ran out of space.
Right. That was one of the big problems because, you know, with my property, we have that easement that we had to contend with.
Yeah.
And as much as we tried to go to bat with the city, there's only so much you can do. But we turned it around, and you were able to utilize the easement in a way that appeased both the city and made our space actually more beautiful, because we didn't intend to have, you know, the trees, you know, at first, you know. So that was an addition that really kind of put it together for us.
I got lucky, and I made it affordable for you too, because I have some great resources here locally, and my friends were just around the corner. They grew these trees, and they get them at a reasonable number, so it was easy for me to do that and include that in there. It was cool, so I'm happy to do that. Let's talk about your pool, because by the way, I can't take full credit of this pool because you helped me. I mean, you and your wife did a wonderful job putting this whole pool together. You picked the colors, right?
Yes,
and you picked the tile.
That was my wife.
Yeah, and we'll show you the little turtles that you put at the bottom of the pool too.
You know, she was, I don't know if I ever told you that, but she was the one that actually went down there when it was first poured, you know, or when it was, you know, cured. She went down there and she spent time to try to figure out the perfect placement for those turtles, you know, and the kids got involved. So, I mean, you know, when you talk about the process of, like, it was enjoyable. I mean, like, we had fun with it, you know. Even the digging was, there's some stories there. I don't know if I ever shared you, but the digging crew had some fun digging through the mountain that apparently we live on.
I know.
But yeah, she figured out where to put those turtles, and the kids love it. You know, to this day, that's part of our game when we swim. Is we swim down, and before we begin anything, we all go down and we touch our turtle, and then we begin our swim.
That's like a little ritual, huh?
It's a little, it's a little family thing that we do. You know, they know which turtle's theirs. You know,
that's so cool.
And so it's
I'm glad that you're enjoying it, and I want to share the rest of the photos. I'm going to share some photos on Total Scape Design if you don't mind.
Yeah.
But is there anything that you want to say? Is there anything that you want to? Anything extra you'd like to throw in
well,
there?
I mean, like, we didn't talk about the fountain, and I'll tell you, this is a hit with everybody.
Does that you turned that up a little bit more, right? You could turn,
It turns. It's on a cycle.
Okay.
So like when it's on its high cycle, it'll
Okay.
be pouring more full. It's
okay.
beautiful.
You have an automation here.
Yes, it's
See,
automation.
now that's right. I forgot. This is how long it's been. How long
Yeah.
has it been? A couple years now.
It has.
Yeah, it's been a couple years that we installed this pool, and look how still beautiful it is.
Yeah.
I forgot you have automation, so it does turn up. That fountain will go up a little bit further. Yeah,
Correct,
it'll shoot out. It's a sheer descent.
Very energy efficient.
Yeah.
You know, that was the other concern that we had was we didn't know what this was going to cost us. You know, electric wise, water wise, and it's been a fraction.
Yeah,
like,
that
we
wasn't
don't
as
even notice
expensive
it.
as you thought it was going to be.
No,
the
no.
automation.
We were
when
concerned
I say,
about that, but no, it's not.
When
yeah.
I say automation, oh no, I don't want that. I'm like, well, wait a minute, we'll fit
no,
that
it
in.
actually helps because it's
Yeah.
conservative in how it's being run and everything.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that you need to put in all your pools.
It helps with the flow of the pool, and
Yes.
it's also a return. So it's like if you don't want to have the returns on.
Everybody, my parents have pools, have a pool, and they come over here and they're like, "How do you keep your pool so clean?" I said, "I don't do anything. You know,
Yeah.
I have my cleaner guy come once a week, but it's always it's just this crystal clear blue, and the fountain is a big hit." Even with the neighbors, they always say they enjoy it because of the tranquility. They
I
come
know, it
outside and
sounds
they
good.
listen to it. So everybody's getting, the pleasure of the waterfall here.
So we went with a regular diamond bright. I can't remember the color.
Yes.
It's a beautiful, like a light blue. It might be a double sky blue. I think
It was a sky blue, I believe.
Yeah. It looks like a double sky blue that we probably threw some extra sprinkles in there to give it that blue color because it is gorgeous.
It enhances it.
And it's important, by the way, that the way we did this, it matched up really nicely with the tile.
Yes.
A lot of people go with a blue tile and then make the pool like a different color,
Right.
and it doesn't match up properly.
Right.
So this is a beautiful match, and everything just works consistently. That the pavers we used here was a travertine, nice ivory travertine, nice and simple. It's not that you said it's not that slippery.
It's not slip at all.
No?
I mean, we like I said, we swim mostly almost every day.
Yeah.
And my kids run up and down, the pool. Not once have they slipped.
Right.
And this has been, a couple of years now. And even when it's completely wet, like from us getting in and out of the pool, it's still like I'm walking. I feel complete traction with these. It's like almost like it absorbs the water instantly.
It's a natural
so good.
stone. I still wouldn't recommend not sealing it. I would definitely seal it if you could, and that would be because I don't want you to slip because I have the same pavers and I'm slipping in certain areas, so you got to be careful. But it's great. Yeah, everything looks great. I was going to say about the Diamond Bright, the tile, and the maintenance. That's what I want to talk to you about.
Yeah.
The maintenance is what $110 a month? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it has gone up in the last year, probably due to inflation and cost of chemicals.
Yeah.
But it's $110.
Well, don't you find that pretty crazy that a guy comes he loads up his truck, puts all the chemicals in the back, brings everything over here 4 times. Is it 4 times a month?
4 times.
For $110 a month. How much is that?
Yeah.
$27.50 a time? Something like
Yeah.
Turn out to be like that. My math's not great.
Yeah.
But think about that. It's so cheap.
It's not bad.
A week.
It's not bad. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
cheap. That's cheap.
Would you do
that
me, I tried to do it myself.
Would you go?
It's not hard, but at the same time, it's a chore.
Yeah.
And $110, you can't beat that. That's a chore I don't have to worry about.
Would you get in your truck and go to another person's house to clean their pool for $27?
No.
It's so cheap.
Not for me.
It's insane. Maybe the price is different in the other parts of the country, but we're lucky here in Florida. We are because there's so many pools. That's probably what it is.
That's another benefit of just the relationship with you is I've formed relationships with the crews that you work with.
Absolutely.
Like the pool company was tremendous when they installed the pool and helped us, with some of the aspects of it. And then the cleaner was recommended. The where I get in my service was also recommended from your pool guy. And I have great rapport with that gentleman as well. And he's just a very loving man, and he just comes in here and we end up talking for about a half hour every time he comes.
That's
we just
awesome.
sit and so we're good friends now. So it's a testament to you. You don't work with just anybody. You work with good people.
Let me have that conversation. This is important. So we talk about this. I'm a designer and a project manager. I'm not just a designer or GC that just goes out and bids out my work. The relationships that I have formed, these people work for me all the time. They're like, I give them probably 95% of their work. The good thing about it is I can dedicate my time to you. Mm-hmm. And that's why I can answer the phone at 11 o'clock at night, right?
Sorry about that, by the way.
No. No, trust me, it's okay. It really warmed my heart to realize, like, you took it literally. I'm available all the time, and it's okay. I really keep it. I keep that open. I make appointments sometimes at midnight for people that work shift work, like doctors that have the shift work. I'm happy to do that. So, But this is what's important, and this is what I kind of want. I want my future clients to know that they're going to, number one, be friends with me. They're going to learn how to. They're going to make a new friend, and number two, that they're going to have somebody in their back pocket that maybe I don't physically do all the work and get it all done, but I'm here to run the job. I put everything together. I take the relief off of you,
Yeah.
right? And the price that you're going to pay. And your friends have already gotten prices that are higher than me myself, because these guys give me a better deal because I give them so much work, and they'll come to work for me. I can get them; they'll show up like this for me. But for you, as a person, they may not. They may not show up, and then or they'll throw you later on in the shift. Maybe at the end of I can't get there this week. I'll get you there next week, and there's nothing you can do about it. But when you have someone like me in your back pocket, they're going to show up on time. Were they always here on time?
Every crew?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, from pool to construction to, everything. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Always on time. Like we made an appointment. I didn't have to wait around.
Yeah.
A lot of times they even offered me, more availability than I'm used to.
Because
we
they
have a
want
very
to
tight
work for
schedule,
me.
So yeah.
They want to make me happy because they want more jobs. Because this way they don't have to get it. Now I run the whole thing. I run all normally like the landscaping and the pavers and the way everything. I make sure that that's done to our satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
We do that together. And we relay that to them. They don't take it upon themselves to do something that you and I didn't discuss and plan properly, right? So
No, that was great because like the city, they do their thing, and I've done many projects in many homes,
Yep.
and with just moving around, being from the military. So I tell you, there's not been one city that's ever been easy to try to get permitting through or anything
Yeah.
like that. But the one thing I really appreciated was that I didn't have to call you to find out what was going on.
Yeah.
You always kept me informed.
Yeah.
So that was great. And then if there was any,
Appreciate
snafus in the process, you took care of it. I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to go fighting the city or fighting the contractor or what process I was in. I didn't have to do any of that. And I've done that quite frequently in many projects before. So yeah, it was great. It was a great experience
Excellent.
in that aspect. So
I appreciate that. Listen, I'm glad to have you as a friend, more so
Absolutely,
than anything else.
like-
I'm glad you're enjoying. But you haven't invited me over to the pool yet.
Well, you know what? It is true. But we
It's been 2 years,
I know.
I'm waiting for that invitation.
Well, we haven't furnished it really, so we don't really do a
understand.
lot of parties just yet.
Yeah.
We wanted to kind of get it sealed because we still got to get it sealed.
Yeah.
We've been kind of slowly
I'm just throwing you under the
slailing and
bus.
going.
Don't worry
No,
about
but
it.
we were gonna have you guys over.
Yeah.
But we don't have anywhere for you to sit, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna invite you over and have you sit in just a chair.
I
you
think
know?
a pool's beautiful. You have a bench right here I can sit.
That's true. You know what? We're just gonna schedule. We're gonna have you over. So.
I'm good. I'm okay. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you
Yeah.
having me over here. I really do.
No, yeah.
That's cool. Thanks.
Anytime.